Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. My name is Chris. I'm your host. This is an indie showcase episode of Comic Tropes After Dark, specifically one of the ones where I'm going to go through my P.O. box. All of these things have been sent into the Comic Tropes P.O. box in the last, couple months. And it's been building up. I just haven't had free time to just sort of fit in an extra episode to highlight my reactions to everybody's comics. So this is done live. You may be watching this once it's sort of archived on demand. It is done live. That's just so that I can give some of my honest reactions and opinions as I go through it, as well as sort of have sometimes some chat to like respond to as well, to sort of like do a logic check, like, is this cool? Yes, this is cool. This is cool. Just sort of helps you with the vibe as well. It makes me feel like I'm not doing this in a total vacuum, because these can go for a little while. I'm just realizing now that I've got a second camera here to look at the comics that I've got to show. And it's at 69%, which should be enough to get through all of these. But this may take a little while. Let me give some shout outs, because there are a few people that have jumped in, and I appreciate it, folks. I know that it's not a super convenient time for everybody, but the point here isn't necessarily to have the biggest, most active chat. It's just to do it live. And you may notice that I've got something already on the second camera here. I meant to start with just me and then show both of these, but it's late. But this was sent in to me recently by a viewer. So, yeah, just kind of nice. These are just some variant editions that came through their store up in, let me think for a second, the Buffalo area. This is, I'm bad at names. I also, I won't go into that, but I'm thinking very slowly. I'm tired. I'll say that. Okay. Anyway, I'll come back to this to give thanks to regular viewer. I keep wanting to say Scott, but that's not right. Why am I having so much trouble thinking of my viewer's name? Oh boy. I feel like this is great start. Great start. Tell you what. Jesus, I almost want to start over because I'm having trouble remembering a name, but you guys all know that I'm bad at names. I forget names of my family and coworkers. I just am bad at names. I'm going to set this aside and give credit in a moment when it comes back to me. And I've got my scissors here. Oh, that's just nothing here. In fact, that's kind of distracting. So I was just inking, but this is a very casual show if you've never watched one of these before. The point is to help give a signal boost to all sorts of indie creators primarily. If any of you made any of these comics and it can help to clip a part of this and use it promotionally, you definitely have my permission. Not even sure if you need it, but you definitely have my explicit permission to do that. And I'm just going to be careful not to show anybody's address, and we will get right into the analysis of what has come in, because this is a lot. People have been very, very kind. I will never ask for you to send me anything. That is not a requirement or anything I would expect or want, even in a sense. I don't want you to spend money on me unless it's to support the show directly. But if you want to have your comic sort of featured on some level like this, you are more than welcome. Oh, you know what? I'm excited to see this one. I know what this is. Hold on. I just knocked over a few comics over here. I'll be right back. See? I'm right back. Yes. Very cool. So sometimes these episodes, when I go live, the point is to invite people to drop in and talk about maybe their webcomic or their crowdfunded campaign, any sort of indie comic that they've produced. And I had a guest onto one of those, and he showed me his webcomic called Loogie, which is this cool like manga-esque art. It's set in a post-apocalyptic future, but this is just this really positive girl with sort of these weird gel hair powers, or kind of like a loogie. And I just thought it looked and I thought it looked great, and that the premise was actually like a really fun take on a post-apocalyptic world. And so apparently I've been sent a print edition, which is exciting. Let's take just a brief look here. So Kadin Lane, great job on the credits. Nice and clear, everybody's name. Let's just see real quick if there's some sort of a link or a website or social media somewhere. There's a bunch of fan art. That's good. What is there? Did they send anything? They sent some stickers and stuff, which very cool. I like that. But, oh, sorry. That just helped me. I kept thinking Scott, and I knew that was wrong. Steve Sorenson is the viewer that sent these. And Steve, I'm sorry that I was having trouble with the name, but I do appreciate that. Big Ninja Turtles fan. I just wanted to acknowledge you, and I'm sorry that I was having trouble with the name. I knew that it would shake out if I just gave myself a second. But yeah, this Loogie by Kadin Lane, really great. Like a take on the post-apocalypse that's still sort of, fun. And he said that he felt like this took him like longer than he wanted to. I remember him telling me that. But you know what? If you take your time and you produce a comic that's quality, then it's worth it. Who cares what pace anybody else goes at? Whatever it takes to get the book out, I say. I love it. This looks like cool art, fun premise, unique powers. I love that there's some acknowledgement to the fans. What's the comics reading platform that isn't Webtoon or Tapas? It starts with comics with an X, I think. I'll take a look on my phone to see if I can find the site. Hey, it's Randy Stone. Speaking of a guy who does a lot of self-published comics and stuff, I've supported several of Randy's Kickstarters over the years. In fact, I always have at least one comic close by that he's done, and his ongoing book is called Bullet Adventures. This was the first issue of Bullet. Really fun, basically all ages action adventure. If you've enjoyed books like Spider-Man, Nova, Teen Titans, what else would I compare it favorably to? Not quite as violent, Invincible, things like that. Thank you, Kyle. Yes, Loogie is on Global Comics, so I just wanted to put that out there if somebody wants to look that up. Yes, thank you. Thank you both. I appreciate that. Issue 7 should be arriving any day now. Isn't that impressive, folks? That means technically 8 issues, because first there was Bullet, and then it became an ongoing series called Bullet Adventures. So 8 issues. I'm so impressed with all of you that you can do this. And by the way, I'll also say that for Loogie here, the print job is fantastic. It doesn't say in big logo or anything who printed it. That's fine, but good job. Do recommend. I'm going to, I guess, have to sort of stack some comics up here for now, and I'll just keep going through the pile. This one's coming from out of the country. Where is this? Great Britain. Great Britain we've got here. I just finished reading Saucer Country. Very cool. Like the amount of comics that have come through just a small handful of these sort of mailbag episodes is frankly astonishing. I'm remembering all sorts of ones I've seen in the past, and as I go through these, it's very exciting to be opening something and not know what you're going to get inside. I mean, where do you get anything like that in comics generally? Invincible Presents Battle Beast just had a blind bag, so you didn't know what cover you'd get. But what if there was a blind bag and you didn't even know what comic you'd get? All right, so let's see what we've got here. Jimmy Braxton's Fully Loaded. That is a gorgeous professional cover, no question. 2 copies. Right on. And there's a little letter here. So this is It's on like actual letterhead for this company, Verity Comics. Hi, Chris. Little something from Shane Chebsney. Shane Chebsney and myself at Verity Comics. Got it. We hope you enjoy reading it as much as we have making it. Oh, that's such a kind letter. I'm going to set that aside. I've got like sort of a stack of letters that I've received. And yeah, Shane has also been on one of the live episodes, also runs Scratch Comics. So this is Verity Comics, and they do some good books. Let's get this out. 2 copies. Ooh, I'll have to share one. Let's see. You and Dave live at the same time. I'm so torn. Who do I watch? Well, you know, mine is really more like sort of reviews, so you can watch it later. Dave is doing a live claim sale. Dave West Coast Dave Enders, he's talking about. So if you want to claim some books, I will not be offended. Let's just take a quick look inside and see who worked on this. Let's see. Created, written, and illustrated by Jimmy Broxton. And lettered. Wow. Okay. So it's definitely set in the somewhat near future. Gorgeous art here. Look at that. Look at that. This is something. Sorry, this is taking my breath away. Great pacing. Okay, I like that. And okay, well, this gives me sort of Blade Runner vibes, and I'm sure that's entirely intentional. They've got, you know, flying cars, Japanese signs. How do you go? Ra, ri, ro, do. Road. Oh, I get it. I think that there's some letters potentially missing here, and it used to be like katakana for terminal. Tamaniru, something like that. I don't know. It looks amazing. Thank you. So, yeah, this is very impressive. Very striking cover. I like that. They've like that's a lot of real estate to give to a title, isn't it? But it's great graphic design. Inking pages and enjoying the bonus episode. Glad to hear it. That sounds productive. Yeah. Verity Comics. Oh my God, the amount of detail there. I don't want to just compare it to things, but of course, you know, you look at something like this and you can't help but think a little of either Hard Boiled or maybe just Frank Miller Sin City or something like that. Not saying the art is exactly that or the story is, but I like it. I like what I say. I like the gray tones too. This is definitely my kind of book. I like crime and I like sort of grounded sci-fi. I do enjoy both of those things. So this one will be a blast to go through. And Jimmy Broxton did everything. Wrote, lettered, illustrated. It's a lot. It's 2065. Carson Blake is 100 years old and tired of asking nicely. That's great. That's awesome. Hello, Sim. Hello, Alex. It is impressive. Very cool. Lucky me. What else have we got? Well, I've got to find somewhere else to put this temporarily. Okay, I'll just stack them beside me here, and I'll pick them up at the end of the show. What's next? What's next? We've got a lot to go through. So exciting. So much depth. Don't want to dox somebody. What's it say? This is from somewhere in New York State that I don't recognize the town. That is okay. Got my handy scissors here. And as you can see, I am not running with them, so it's perfectly fine for me to use them however I so wish, as long as I'm not running. And we'll pop out a comic here. This is Teardrop, Sad Stories in the Rain by Mario Cow. I think I'm pronouncing that right? C-A-U, Cow. As well as Absence, a collection of missing pieces. All right, I'm excited to poke my head in here. Let's see, first of all, is there any sort of obvious website or social media? I think I've seen some of Mario's work before for sure. I recognize it now. Proofread by, copyright. Is there like a publisher or something? No. Okay, there's a little bit here. Oh, that's way too humble, Mario. But he's got at Mario Cow and a website. And yeah, I remember now that Mario is Brazilian. I've talked to him before, haven't I? I think he was on the show live. That's where I would have seen this before. Wow, that's some great negative space. I really like this composition. That's legit brave to like leave so much empty space, but that punctuates character and like the few words of dialogue. I get it. That's really pretty motion to the rain. I'm used to just seeing like lines by every artist, but you know, like rain really does swirl and stuff based on wind gusts. I'd love to be better at drawing rain. This is some really nice nature scenes. Really good, real people. It's like cartoony and there's personality, but yeah, great. Wow, that's a great pose there. Great positioning too. You know, it makes it look like she's jumping down just by having a little bit of empty space in the panel above. Whereas if the panel was cropped like this, it might almost look like she's crouching or something. Just by giving us a little bit of empty space there, we can see it like there's motion to it. There's intention to the direction there. That's impressive. Teardrop, Sad Stories in the Rain, and then this one, Absence, a collection of missing pieces. Let's see. Again, just double checking. Okay, and there's his social stuff. MarioCow.com.br for Brazil /English. Insta, Blue Sky, YouTube, Mario Cow. And then there's also an email. Let's see. Yeah, similar artwork, but great balancing of black and white in this. This is probably a kind of story that could benefit too from like, you know, some gray tones or screen tones. Just my take. I mean, who knows if that's right or wrong. Yeah, I like the figure work. I like the characterization in these people. These are great poses, great expressions, relatable, believable. You've seen people act like this. Very cool. I like slice of life stories too. Man, I lived in the DC area for 10 years, and one of my favorite conventions to go to, and there were a few in that area, but one of my favorites was called SPX, or Small Press Expo, in somewhere in Maryland. I forget the town off the top of my head, but it's close to DC. And the Small Press Expo would have, you know, slice of life stories like this one that Mario's done. It would have humor. It would have crime. It wasn't like tons of superhero. Sometimes there'd be superhero, but it was cool that you got to see like a wide variety of stuff. It was very nice. Yeah, I like the inking too. Yep. Just got here. The art is stunning. Yeah, Mario's definitely very, very talented. I'm sure that there's a, you know, looking at this, it's like, well, you could definitely imagine this style for superheroes, but you can also look more at like how it's something real. And even though there's like a cartooning to how sort of simple line work the faces are, it's obviously also something that could kind of fit in like a Vertigo-esque comic, something like that. Texture Master. Very nice. Thank you, Mario. I really appreciate these books. I just really love the depictions of rain in this. It just strikes me as very convincing. Next is something from, here in Washington State. That's interesting. He can really draw kids too. Not an easy thing to do. Great point. Yeah. There's lots of artists, and I'm not going to name them, but there are some artists who have been like, you know, basically top in the industry, but can't draw kids. More than one, so I'm not like really picking on anyone. Drawing kids is tough. It's not just a smaller adult. All right, let's see what we got here. Great presentation. I like this because there's like this regular paper, but with like little cuts here so that it was holding this smaller book. Appreciate the attention to detail there. Let's see. Filter Feeders. 6 artists, 8 stories, 36 pages. 36 pages for $10. Let's see. Color on the outside, black and white inside. Nice paper. Yeah, that's very fair. I could have done that. That's, man. If you're an artist, that hits. I could have done that. So I'm just going to sort of get an idea of what kind of art styles are in here. Doesn't actually strike me as like an art style that I've seen like a million times before, or intentionally trying to emulate something else, which I appreciate. Yeah. All sorts of different stories. I see some sci-fi. I see some like, supernatural. I see some like people just living their regular lives. Oh, I'm excited to check it out for real. Let's see, channel surfing. This just looks like a simple one to look at. Hey man, what you watching? I'm channel surfing. There's nothing good on. I mean, what even are some of these shows? Judge Worm? For your crimes against worm and human alike, I sentence you to life in dirt. No, please! Take him away. No! Is there any more to that? I actually like Judge Worm. Oh, now that I look at these guys, they do sort of look like takes on Bert and Ernie from Sesame Street. Maybe I'm just imagining that, but that's how it strikes me. What else have we got? Did I miss the title page? Oh, The Aggression. The Aggression. Oh my God, it's just dogs having a kung fu gunfight. Oh my God, that's crazy. I like it. I like it! It's not something I've seen a million times before. Proudly printed in Seattle, Washington by Girly Press Inc. Wow, how cool it is to come across something that's local. Thank you for picking up the premiere issue of Filter Feeders. The goal of this project is to showcase comics by artists I admire. Looking forward to more issues and more artists in the future. Cooper Lytle. Let's see. And is there... Okay. Here's what they've done for like sort of credits and stuff is Cooper Lytle did the cover and table of contents. And then each of the stories here has the creator's Instagram. So that's pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different stories that have Instagram. One that just has a website. Not bad. Not bad. I love humor books. Thank you very much, Cooper. Issue 1, April 2025. So that was pretty darn recent. That's really recent. Well, maybe I'll bump into these guys at some point since they're somewhat local. We've got lots more. I can't slow down, and I won't slow down. This one's from also Washington State, the Vancouver area. It's a little to the south. It's basically almost at the Oregon border. For those geographic hounds that tune in to learn a lot about geography, there's a lot of people. You'd think that they'd all be here for the comics, but a lot of them are here for geography lessons. Hey, who am I to judge? Interesting. Here's a copy of my fanfic I said I would send you. I hope you enjoy it. CJ. Oh, I got to take some tape off. I want to share this with everybody. Put the letter with my letters. And when they say fanfic, it'll be kind of obvious. There we go. We've got a Batgirl going up against all the big baddies. We've got Joker, Punchline, Two-Face, Man-Bat, Scarecrow, Clayface, Bane. Bonus story included. E-Fantasy. Let's take a look and see if we can learn a little bit more about this. Show me the maps. That's what Jason's here to do. By the way, Jason is part of an artist group in California called the Long Beach Ink and Drink Crew, and they have a Kickstarter up right now. It's just sort of speaking of indie books, Sewer Boys with a Z 2. It's a great remix comic where he and his friends, all these great artists, have taken a look at Giant Size X-Men #1, and they've remixed it. Like, people can redraw the pages in whatever sort of style they want, or change the dialogue, or, do all sorts of interesting things. Yeah, everything's looking cool so far. The Laughing Game, and again, I'm going to just quickly look and see what we have for credits. Warn Everyone Comics. Okay, Warn Everyone Comics. Written by C.J. Hudson, who sent it to me. Art by Moy Marco. We've got letters, cover, edits. And yeah, so it's a story of Batgirl. It's thick. Look at this. In Japan, like doujinshi or fan comics are very common, and generally, if you don't sell too many copies, the publishers actually won't go after you because they sort of look at it as like maybe a farm league for talent. Oh, look at that great reference to Brian Bolland's famous image in The Killing Joke. It's still in this artist's style, but yeah, it's definitely the same idea there. Oh, spot colors. Huh. Didn't expect that. It's nice. It's good art. She's dealing with the pain of having been shot. We've got this is up to like current continuity, because here's Nightwing with his little pet dog that has. It's a 3-wheeler, Bitewing. That's interesting. Look at that. Great use of some grays as well to give it like some more depth. I really do like that. Like, look at how much more powerful, because of having, the dark to dark gray to the light. I think that gives it a heck of a lot more depth, even though it's black and white. Really, really cool. I'm just throwing it out these days. It's just like, it's a mess right now. It's the end of the day. It's quite late, but yeah, just been growing it out. I don't know where it's going to go. It's kind of you, though. Have I checked out Rory Dragon? I haven't, so no. Yeah, this is a fan comic, and certainly looks good enough for DC, in my opinion. But, it's up all the time to an editor to see what fits into what they're doing with so many characters. But yeah, if this came out on a store shelf at my comic shop, like at a glance, I don't look at this and go like, well, that's not up to professional standards. Do I think that, like, I could make pointed critiques here and there? I could, but that's not what this show is about, and that's not like I don't look at this and think there are big problems. I really don't. Like, this looks good is what I'm trying to say. And I think that's awesome that they've made a fan comic like this. Oh, and then there's a short, quick Swamp Thing here with definitely a different art style. Art by Gerald Von Stoddard, words by Frank Martin. Okay, so that's a different team doing like a quick backup there. Looks great. Whoops. There was some nudity. I don't think that will get me demonetized. It's art. E-Fantasy, free bootleg. That's interesting. So it doesn't have a price. That's smart. They're protecting themselves because, you're using property you don't own. If you showed that you were making money, technically they could go after you. Just like at a convention, if somebody was selling tons of prints based on intellectual property of like Star Wars and Akira and Batman, technically those companies could go after you. They typically don't, but they can. Who is the artist for this? That's a great question. Last name was Marco. Moy Marco. Is that Filipino? I don't know. There's a lot of great comics artists from the Philippines, so that's where my mind went. I like it. I like it quite a bit. Yeah, that'll be fun to read. Thank you. I like all the faces here. I like what they've done actually specifically. I'll just note, I really like what they've done with Clayface. He's got like jagged bits of just sort of street type garbage, like, razors and screws in his mouth area. That's kind of a cool idea. Because, yeah, why wouldn't Clayface just sort of pick up whatever's lying around, absorb it into him, and use it as weapons? All right, this one's coming from Iowa. All right, we've got some. I don't know if I've gotten anything from Iowa before. You caught a live stream. Yup, surprise stream. So sort of a surprise. On Monday, I did say that I was going to try to do one of these. I just wasn't sure when I'd be able to exactly get to it. It's fairly late. It's basically 9 o'clock Pacific time right now, 9 p.m. Pacific. So certainly the East Coast in Europe is real night owls if they're catching any of this. So there's a letter in here. Bear with me. But here's the next book. Oh, I'm excited. I know about this comic, and I'm a big fan, obviously, of Stardust, the Super Wizard. Made an episode about him years ago, and his kind of weird creator, Fletcher Hanks. This is so fun. Yeah, this is for me. This is for me. There's a note, so I'm just going to read this real quick. Let's see. Hi, Chris. Hope you're doing well. Here's a copy of my new comic. It is currently available in previews for stores to order. Let's hope Diamond lasts long enough for that to work. So far, they're still running. It can also be pre-ordered directly from the Cosmic Lion website. Eli Schwab is the publisher of Cosmic Lion. If you go to cosmiclionproductions.com, you can order a bunch of great indie comics. John Coates sent me this. Sorry, I said John Coates. This signature is James Coates. Okay, so that just threw me. They must be brothers or something working together. Let me take a look. If you don't know, Stardust the Super Wizard was a golden age superhero. Didn't have a lot of personality or anything. He could just do basically anything. He was like this godlike being, and he was going after like common crooks and like doing bizarre things like turning them into rats or turning them into just the head and throwing them to an asteroid in space where they'd like live their whole life alone. So it was crazy. Yeah, okay. It says for more comics by the Coates brothers, visit dinobeasts.com. So yeah. Comic is dedicated to Jim and Ed. That's nice. Cartoonist kayfabe. That's lovely. But I appreciate that they've sent one to me as well. James and John Coates, Stardust Super Wizard. Oh, that's such a cool image. Doesn't this look a little bit like the stuff that Jeff Darrow did in books like, well, a lot of his books now that I think of it. I was thinking at first of Hard Boiled and Shaolin Cowboy, but he's done this kind of a thing before. Yeah, and it's just Stardust being like way over muscular and having no problem taking out these guys. This is great satiric art, and this character shouts out for that kind of a take on it. It's just one of the most surreal comics you've ever seen. I'd argue kind of mean-spirited for its era. This looks incredible. Thank you to the Coates brothers and Cosmic Lion for sending me this. I love that they've pretended like this is issue 18. Yeah, it's got an ISBN, so any store can order this theoretically. But you can also go to cosmiclionproductions.com and order it there. This is great. Guys, thank you so much for sending me this. I find Stardust endlessly fascinating, and I think it's a public domain character that's rife for reinterpretation. Specifically, I think you've got to do quite a bit of satire because he's just absurdly powerful and has no real supporting cast or personality. Love it. This is incredible. I love it. Fletcher Hanks was kind of a genius. He probably was. He was like a mad genius, but yeah. Oh, very cool. I'm excited. What else do I have here? Something from Georgia. Georgia. You know what? That's probably enough for everybody. All right. Wait. Let's see what we got here. We've got Chuk Maxwell by Brandon M. Paul. Okay. Let's see if there's any sort of a letter or anything. No, but there might be some sort of explanation in the comic itself. Issue 1, The Adventures of Chuk Maxwell, who seems to be, at first glance, some sort of a, Mad Max-esque traveler in a post-apocalyptic world, but he's a dog. There's obviously some sort of a ghoul type character here. And I don't know. Maybe I'll guess that this guy is like an engineer or something. I don't know. I love these company stickers to seal it. That's very innovative. Nice simple logo of initials in a nice font. BMP Comics. Yeah, BMP Comics. Subscribe to the newsletter, chukbook.com. And then we've got bpaul.art as well as bpaul.art for, like probably Insta, maybe Twitter or something. Let's see what we've got here. Great job. Like, yeah. Website, everybody, everywhere. This was published in April of this year, so also pretty darn new. And man, am I reading too much into this to feel like this has some Mobius inspiration? Or Darrow? Well, certainly at least a bit of the lean Claire art style that a lot of bande dessinée uses. Just my initial take on things. Wow, gorgeous exteriors. I like the understated but not empty line art, as in not tons of variation on the line art width, which is sort of what I see in Lean Claire, but certainly plenty of detail. Yeah, this is great looking. I love it. I definitely want to read this. I hope that is taken as a compliment, because I see, when I look at this, I think of the kind of heavy metal or metal Erlant import stories that I would see in like the 80s and 90s, which is cool. It's an era of art that I really like, and it's for today. It has the storytelling, pacing, and structure of a modern comic, but the art style for design and actual rendering reminds me in the best possible way of nice, clean European sci-fi comics. This is good. This is great pacing. I saw that it was building to like a huge vehicle chase by the end, which totally earned. I'm impressed. Brandon M. Paul, The Adventures of Chuk Maxwell. Again, the website, chukbook.com or bpaul.art or bpaul.art. bpaul.art. Very impressive. Love it. Thank you. You got a little bit of heavy metal out of that? Yeah. I hope I'm not overly influencing people. It's just something that I feel like I see. No matter what, I like it. If it's not intentional, and that's just how you draw, more power to you too. Where's this one coming from? San Diego. Oh, this is from an actual publisher. Hold on. Wonder what this is. Still what I would consider independent, but not self-published. And not what I would consider small press, but I would classify it as indie. But that's something that's open to interpretation, what you would classify as indie. Very well packed. I'll give you that. I'll have a lot of fun with this bubble wrap. Wow. I'm excited already. So I'm not familiar with this book, but we've got a Mad Cave book called Sunder by Pierre-Alexandre Comtois. So my first guess is that this is an import bande dessinée, but Mark Englert is credited here. I bet you anything he did the colors, but Mark is an artist, friend of mine. He colored my recent, just last month, I did a backup story in Radiant Black that I wrote and illustrated, just a comedy thing, and Mark colored it. I've known Mark for over 20 years, but I didn't know that he worked on this book, to be honest. He works on a lot of stuff, so I can't keep up with it all. Let me see what we can learn here. Well, it doesn't say anything so far for... Oh, okay. I was looking for this copyright just to see. Okay, it says that this is the first printing, 2024. The copyrights are all in the artist writer's name, Pierre-Alexandre Comtois, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So maybe this isn't an import. I guess let's take a look here. Oh yeah, that's got to be Mark's colors. I didn't look at the credits, but that definitely is. All right. So do we have a list of everything on this? So just all the people that run Mad Cave. Yeah, Mark Englert, colorist. Good. I was just double checking. You may be late, but I've still got a lot of comics to go through, and I'm at 48%, so I need to keep moving. All right, good. A little bit talking animal, but definitely not supernatural, fantasy. Great style. Oh man, look at how much personality this bear has. That's gorgeous. Whoops. Very nice looking. This is huge. Like, look at the size of this graphic novel. It's huge. I was just trying to get first impressions, but there's a lot to take in here. Well, I do like a great big epic fantasy story, no question. And this art is gorgeous. I'm going to be biased about the colors, so maybe I won't speak to that. Yeah, Mark is using different like sort of tones and different contrasts depending on what the scene calls for and what you need to focus on. Oh wow, Sunder, Tome 1. That's ambitious. So there's more to this potentially. That's big. Well, thank you to Mad Cave for sending me that. I look forward to inspecting it. That's really cool. Here's one from California. It is hefty. It's going to help me with my physical rehab. Just going to pick that book up just to read it. And it'll take me a good 2-3 months to read all of that because I'm a slow reader. Just making stuff up. But yeah, that'll really help my shoulder improve. All right. Just double checking that I'm getting a text and I'm making sure it isn't related to this. It is not. That is good. I didn't want someone going like, Chris, like this signal looks terrible. You've been frozen blinking for 2 years. 2 years? All right, we've got some nice, easy to see stuff for promotion. Jared Witkofsky. Yep. An Insta. Spurble_elite, and a store, Etsy, Fervum Products. So what do we got here? Got bent a little, but that's okay. I mean, I'm not planning on CGC grading these comics. I'm planning on reading them and enjoying them. Thank you for the extra stickers. Very creative. What kind of a book is this? Following is Jared Witkofsky's story of facing a life-altering health crisis. Read his firsthand account of navigating the overwhelming bureaucracy of the medical system while learning to live with exceptionalities. Enjoy this slice of life story about facing adversity with humor and honesty. Following was created with a grant from the Upstate Creative Corps and the Nevada County Arts Council. How about that? All right, let's see if I can get a sense of what this is. Jared Witkofsky. He's blind in one eye, and he's a big nerd, he says. He lives with his partner and his partner Izzy and his dog Rosie. Let me see. See him losing his balance and stuff. I wonder if that's like MS. Oh yeah, it is. Well, this is interesting. MS. You have MS. What? He started making an emergency ending himself plan. MS doesn't have to be that bad. Okay, so he gets essential tremors. MS can take a lot of different forms, and I know a few things about it because my wife and mother-in-law, for instance, both have MS, and there are different severities to it, and there are different responses to having it, because what it all is MS is multiple sclerosis. So sclerosis is like a plaque on your brain, which could damage how, like, you maybe handle balance or speech or a wide variety of things, mostly physical, though. It doesn't really affect your mind per se, but it can affect your vision. It could affect, your pain or your exhaustion. So it can take a lot of different forms. And so this guy is obviously a little disheartened by it. It's a pretty serious thing to deal with. There's not a cure. Depending on what you have, it can usually be sort of kept mostly in check, but you have to have lots of, regular appointments to confirm. Yeah, he gets lots of pain in his joints. That is a common one. That's good. Yeah, he's talking about losing his balance. I mean, I've seen people with MS have issues with balance and headaches and stuff like that. This is definitely something I can't wait to read. Thank you for sharing your story, Jared. Oh yeah, now that I know that it's about MS, I really see what you mean with like these feelings of like almost gaps in your joints and like, your brain sending you like little electric jolts. I'm sorry. It is a tough condition to deal with, but it can be managed. And I think sharing your story helps destigmatize exactly what it is. It's not a death sentence or anything weird like that. It's not contagious either. It's something that modern medicine doesn't fully understand what causes it. We don't know. So, yeah. Pumping iron by picking up that book. That's what I'm doing. Thank you, Martin. But, yeah, that's great. That's great. You know what? I'm going to make sure that my wife just takes a quick look at it by putting it here for later. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. This one is, this is international, but can I tell from where? I think it's from France. Everything seems to be in French. So I don't really read French. I don't know why I said really. I've never, I guess I could guess at some pronunciations, but I never studied French. I've studied Latin, which is a core language. I know Spanish a little bit from school, so I assume I could guess some of the things. I don't know. Just, let's see. Okay. Hello, Chris. Behold, the world's first ninja comic inspired by a true story. La French Ninja, a true story. Hope it'll make it in your next unboxing vid. It will. I can promise. What's it say? Gorka? Merci from Paris. Gorka. LaFrenchNinja.com. Gorka. Is that V2? Or is that UZ? I think it's version 2, like GorkaV2Uztarroz.com. Just guessing. Thank you for the kind note, as well as putting your contact info there. Let's take a look at what we got here. The first ninja comic based on a true story. Actually, I need to keep this bag for it because it's got a nice note on it. Oh my God, is this? It's a die-cut cover? What? What's this from? The French Ninja was monthly published from November 2021 until May 2023 in the Paris newspaper Le 18 I don't know what that means. Du mois. Hey, what a cool take on the cover. Obviously a reference to Ninja Turtles #1, first print. First priority to the ninja is to win without fighting. And is it going to all be in even square panels? Probably because of its original publication format. That makes sense. It's a good cartooning style. I feel like it's not one that I've seen a million bazillion times, but it's still got some really good modern energy to it. It's not very static. This is awesome. This looks like a fast read in a way, like plenty of text, but I can just tell that I would read through this like fast because it's humorous and it's fun. Talking about like basically all the ninjas that kids came across in the 80s and 90s and dealing with bullies in real life. That's so cool. And wow, what a cover. That is really impressive. Let's see. Once dressed up, we would practice our ninja techniques, and well, I'm afraid there was some screaming involved. Oh, very, very cool. Oh, no, it is a UZ for sure, I can tell here. Gorka Uztarroz.com. So there's the website for that. Sick. The time-honored tradition of ninja comics. Heck yeah. Wow. Well, congrats also on, being published in a citywide newspaper, especially in a city as massive as, Paris. Excuse me. I got distracted because this package, like, sort of guessed at my name and it didn't spell it right. The P.O. box was right, so it got delivered. But I'm wondering, like, where somebody would have heard my name but not seen it and thought that they needed to add that? I don't know. Because my P.O. box, you can just write comic tropes. I've got it, like, in that actual name, so you don't have to use my real name for it. This is done up, like, really tight for packaging. Oh, yeah. I don't know what this is. I'm also distracted because, like, the package that it came in said you ordered from, and I'm like, well, but I know how to spell my own name, so I didn't order it, even though the bag says that. Let's see. Oh, well, I'm already amused at what's inside to a degree. Look at this. Stand Up Records, Life's a Joke, Elliot Rahal, Jack Kotz. Holy moly. It's done like a old-fashioned chick tract. Got an episode about those if you're not clear on what they are, if you go over to Comic Tropes. Oh, man. That's so cool. That's a great idea to publish it like that. Holy mackerel. They sent me a bunch of little goodies in their company's name. Is this like a coffee store or something? Okay, we've got that. We've got a medallion here that's not plastic. This is metal. This stuff reminds me of when I lived in New Orleans and we'd have little gifts or throws thrown from the crews of Mardi Gras parades. Stand Up Records Fiend Club. And they also gave me some stickers. I like stickers. Look at these. There's a bunch of stickers. Oh, let's see. Chris was stoked to win art on West Coast Avengers. Oh, gotcha. Yes, somebody won a got it. I now I see how this person figured out what they thought my name was, because I was a guest on West Coast Avengers while he was doing a claim sale, and I did trivia on it, and the winner, I do remember now, said, I'll send you some of my comics. So he'd heard my name said, and he guessed at the spelling, and then he looked up the address from these videos. Right, let's see. Fair enough, and this is definitely meant to evoke Harvey Picard's American Splendor. Yeah, this is definitely sort of an American Splendor type thing. Issues 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that one's a bit of a riff on Hergé's Tintin. issue 5, more of a sort of modern comic booky store, but the Costco employee throwing food to everyone. All right, I'm going to go, like, we got to keep moving because my battery's only got so much life. This is very creative. Put that there for a minute. Fair enough. Story, Daniel Lobel, art, Eli Ziv. And we've got a link here for the podcast bus. Oh, it's like an ad. Okay. Yeah, this guy works at Costco and he's got like a job giving out the freebies, and he's talking about like sort of imagining like training for it and stuff like that. That's great. That's such a, I'm curious to understand how that all works. Oh, and behind the scenes photos to back up the reality of the situation. Dude, that's great. I can't wait to read these. I think I said earlier, I really enjoy slice of life stories. They're just some of the most fun for me because there's a passion there. There's always a passion when you have slice of life stories. Just want to set this stuff aside briefly so that I can get out some more comics. But thank you very much for sending these. This is exciting. And this is super creative. Super creative. Congrats on publishing that. This one's going to come from also upstate New York. Very, very grateful for comics like these, folks. I know you've put a lot of passion and hard work, your blood, sweat, and tears into all of these. There's just no way you can just easily create a comic. It always takes hard work. And by creating it, you're like ahead of 90% of the fans out there with an idea, including a lot of the time me. You know, I've got plenty of ideas and I don't set aside the time to develop them all the time. So I'm exceptionally impressed by the people here that have, found time to do something like this, usually in addition to a day job and family concerns like that. Very impressive. This looks badass. Hello. Two-Fisted Comics, Six-Gun Gorilla, Long Days of Vengeance? What? This is crazy. I adore it. By Brian Christgau and Adrian Sibar. Volume 1, Once Upon a Time in the West. That's fair. And on the back, we've got Two-Fisted Comics and facebook.com/sixgungorilla, all spelled out. Interesting. This must have come out a little while ago because it's got a blurb on the back by Ain't It Cool News. That's been a minute since they've done anything. Let me check the inside stuff. Let's see. Inspired by the story Six Gun Gorilla, serialized in Wizard magazine in 1939, written by person or persons unknown. So this is somebody, a series of people, including Brian, who mailed this. And the artist Adrian Sibar, letterer, colors, covers, etc. Oh wow, but that looks great. Yeah, that looks real good. Six Gun Gorilla. So they're basing it off of something that's now public domain. And sure enough, it's a gorilla in a circus that knows how to shoot. Could a gorilla shoot? They don't have opposable thumbs, right? Gorillas don't. It's more like all straight, sort of, instead of opposable. Could they? I guess they could still grip a gun. I'm just thinking it through. Maybe the story talks about it. I like Westerns. I like gorillas in comics. I've made episodes about that before. That's the truth. Yeah, Sky Ape or Rex Mantooth. There's so many cool stories of gorillas in comics. Let's see. What about the Hellboy monkey? I know it's not a gorilla, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. He's got a gun. Famous meme. Yeah, gorillas have thumbs. I said they don't have opposable thumbs. So it'd be like trying to grip with just like this, because this thumb can like I can grab around, like a monkey, or not a monkey, but a gorilla, like doesn't have the opposable thumb, so they'd have to grab like that, like without putting the thumb around it. So like it would be difficult to grab a handle, I would think. Oh, they are opposable? See, if you're telling me that I'm wrong, I'll believe you. I don't feel like I'm the expert. I was just wondering. Let's see. Next time I go to the zoo, I'll try to hand a gorilla a weapon. That might get you in trouble, Winston. That might get you in trouble. This is fun. Dude, give me, yeah, despite what I say, a gorilla in the Old West, already a good idea. Because he came from a circus and so he knows how to handle a gun, I'll buy into that. Good premise. Worth picking up and running with. Yeah. Oh, I like this art in the back. That's a cool style. It's a little different, but that's got lots of personality. My heart may belong to the church now, but my hands will always belong to the circus. A priest that used to be somebody in the circus that played with guns, I guess. This is badass. That's a good idea. Just a gorilla in the Old West. But I don't see anywhere on here when it was published. Like, I didn't see any indicia. So I don't know exactly how new or old this book is. All I can say is that, like, on the back, instead of a website, it's got a Facebook site, and then it's got a blurb from Ain't It Cool News, which I feel like has been at least 5 years since they've reviewed stuff, right? But that's a guess. It might be more recent than that, and I'm not getting it right. Let's see. Gotta go. Awesome as always. Have a great night, everybody. Always appreciate anybody being here live to give us their opinions on all these cool comics that are coming in. But thank you very much, Brian, for sharing that with me. Good idea for a comic, no question. This one also comes from upstate New York. We've got a lot of people in upstate New York doing comics. I wonder if New York has the most independent Comic-Cons and stuff like that to promote those things. I feel like the Northeast generally did have more in terms of indie comics makers, because I lived in Boston, a little bit of DC, a lot of DC, little New York. Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like it had it more than like the West Coast. Not that it doesn't have anything here. There is an indie scene, but like I feel like there was a big one on the East Coast. All right. There's a little letter to me. So I'll put the comic here. It's got Comic Book Millionaires. Kooky Comics Presents. All right, let's see what this says. Jeremy Rosenstein sent this, and he says, I love your YouTube videos. I thought you would like to read my fanzine comic about the time my college roommate and I were interns at Marvel Comics when they were going bankrupt. Oh, my God. Jeremy, that sounds like a fantastic story, and I was wondering about it because one day my friend Evan and we were new to New York, and we just decided we were like, I don't know, maybe I'm trying to think of like where we were in Manhattan, but we were like maybe up near the Central Park, okay? And I was like, Marvel Comics is on Park Avenue. We'd come across Park Avenue, and it's like 387, but we didn't realize how long New York blocks were, and we walked so long to get to there just to see like the lobby. It wasn't very exciting. Thanks for watching the videos. Yeah, I appreciate it. All right, Comic Book Millionaires, about two interns that worked at Marvel in '96. Yeah. Walt Simonson here, this guy that looks angry. Oh, guys, what a story. Monkey Might. Marvel Comics Penciling Submission Test, the ultimate test. Thank you, readers. Is there any sort of a website or anything? I want to direct people to this because this is a story I can't wait to know more about. Ramen Noodle Night. That's good. Kooky Comics. Letters to comicbookmillionaires@gmail.com. Oh, there is a website here. It's dccreepers.com. Oh, dccreepers.com. Dudes, I don't want to show too many pages because it says, like, no portion should be reproduced without consent. And I know they basically gave me consent by giving me this letter. Thank you, Jeremy. What a great idea for a book. I think that, like, a lot of people would be fascinated with that period of time in comics. Yeah. The mid to late 90s, Marvel was in a bad shape financially. They declared bankruptcy. For quick cash, they sold the rights to most of their properties to Hollywood for very little. I don't quote me on this, but I think they may have sold Spider-Man for as little as $5 million to Sony. And as long as Sony makes a Spider-Man movie every 3 years, they get to retain those rights. So that's what they had to do just to survive. And then the change really came right around 98 when Jimmy Palmiotti and Joe Quesada started the Marvel Knights imprint. Those comics did very well, creatively appealing. And Marvel did start getting a couple good movies like Blade and X-Men that turned things around in terms of how well people knew them. Sorry, this one's literally taped shut with duct tape, so it's a little more than most. I appreciate a comic arriving safely. If I had to choose between damaged comics that aren't damaged, I'll do a little extra cutting. Thanks for jumping into the live stream. All right. Capital Comics is the bag. CapitalComicsNC.com. And did this come from North Carolina? Can't tell. Doesn't say. Let's see what we got in here. All right. Oh, good. There's a letter in it. That helps. Thank you. So next on the docket is... Oh, I think I've seen one or two of these things before. Well, no, maybe I haven't. Hold on. I might be making an assumption. We've got Defective Comics. These that we've reviewed aside. Let's see. We've got some stickers here. Defective.comics is the website. Or at defective.comics for social, defectivecomics.net for a site. All right. So... this person, Alfred the writer, the artist, I don't know yet. This one, Renegade, says Alfred Cargieri, I think. But anyway, let's see. Says that they like comic tropes and Trash Movie Bonanza. Thank you so much. That's also on this channel. Comic tropes was a big part of me getting back into comics. It's how I found Cartoonist Kayfabe. I did try to promote them. They were a good show. Opened up a whole new world of indie comics. Good. I now have an online store where I sell copies of the Defective Comics anthology, my book Renegade, as well as merch and some new titles coming next year, defectivecomics.net. I made a small run of full-sized issues of Renegade. Yep. I included a copy for you as well as the regular mini-size version. Hope you enjoy. Alfred. We adopted the name Defective Comics at the start of the year, not trying to steal any of Jim's thunder. Jim Mafood, my co-host on Trash Movie Bonanza, movie review show we do here on this channel, does satire comics, crowdfunded, and he has the fake, what would you call it, imprint name of Defective Comics. But that's okay, because his comics aren't called Defective Comics. That's just the imprint name. Renegade seems to be an over-the-top, what do you call it, like vigilante. He's got swords, he's got guns. Man, I saw so many books like this in the early 90s, late 80s even. But I feel like you don't see as much of this style anymore unless you go to the Small Press Expo, or anytime I go to a Comic-Con, I always look pretty carefully up and down Artist Alley for especially the weird stuff like this. And I mean that in the best possible way. Like this is different, you know. Let's see what Defective Comics is. It's thick, first of all. Yeah. A brand new comic anthology, all original characters, art, and stories. February 2024. Doesn't say. Does it say? Let's see if the third one says when it was printed, just so that we can get a timeline roughly on these. Well, I'll just look at the third one since it's here. All right. Also 2024. But that's probably late 2024 by the third issue. Cosmic. Oh, you might be able to hear my cats. They're getting a little excited right now. What kind of art styles do we have in here? We've got Night of the Zombie. Ha! Got a great color ad in the style of Bronze Age ads. Early Bronze Age. Killer what? I can't quite read that. That's okay. I like how he does noses, actually. That's really cool. Oh, there's a twist. This guy gets kidnapped. Got some funny bug comics. I like that. That's good. Let's see. Tales from the Little Things. Ooh, this is great art. That's really cool. Plus, I like any reference to my guy, Jason Voorhees. I like that. That's The Little Things in Autumn. Red Room. Oh, that's a great piece of tribute art to Ed. That really is. In the style of Akira, and there's one in the style of Ninja Turtles. Good for you. I like that. Lots of pinups in the back. Wow. Oh, okay. So this person also does basically some painted takes on horror characters. Good for you. That's the kind of stuff I know that sells. I see prints oh, and there's a bunch of pinups. There's a bunch of pinups. All right. Brains. Sorry. That's good. That's really cool. So that's a good value. You get a bunch of different types of horror and humor stories. And is that the same across these? Is that basically it? Horror and humor? Yeah, I think so. So a little bit the heavy metal attitude. A lot of different art styles. But that's awesome. That's a huge positive. That's what I personally like in an anthology. I don't want a bunch of the same stuff. If I get an anthology, I want a bunch of different experiences. Wow. Alfred, thank you so much for sending this to me. Defective Comics looks fantastic. Renegade looks like fun. I really appreciate you sharing that. This is great. Let's see, what do we have left? We have, oh my, more than I thought. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm at 28% battery. So I gotta do these a little faster, I think. That's not meant to be unfair. I literally don't have a choice right now. Let's see where this one's from. This one came to us from Brooklyn, New York. Not upstate New York for a change. We got Brooklyn in the house. Well, when it comes to Brooklyn, no sleep till. Foot on the pedal, never ever false metal. Engine running hotter than a boiling kettle. My job ain't a job, it's a damn good time. City to city, I'm running my rhymes. On location, touring around the nation. Beastie Boys, always on vacation. All right, there's a bunch of little things in here. Let me see if I can get it all out without making a mess. We'll move over here. And start opening. It's just protected. Smart. What's this say? City Bingo The Revenge Part 2. A podcast that creates revenge sequels for terrible movies that didn't need them. That's hilarious. Okay, that's already super creative. I think that's a great idea. There's a letter. Thank you. Thank you for giving my comic Rabbit Who Fights a shout out a few months ago. Yes, that was great. Rabbit Who Fights. There we go. It looks like the latest issue. Rabbit Who Fights. Although delayed by the COVID years and other issues, there is an issue 7, which just came out, and you will find enclosed That's awesome. I hope to get back to my once a year publication schedule. Thank you, Tim Hamilton. And so now he has a website where you can get this stuff, timhamiltonsarts.com. I remember looking through Rabbit Who Fights and being very impressed with the art. I got like this mix of European vibes as well as certain South American creators. Like there's a little bit of Eduardo Risso in the posing and the harsh blacks, in my opinion. That's so nice. I got a little remark in here. Thank you, Tim. There's also patreon.com/Tim Hamilton Comics. His website is timhamiltonarts.com. Yeah, right on, man. Oh, cool. I'm just a big fan when artists have the patience to draw real life environments like this, because that takes patience. This looks simple, doesn't it? Like the just a few leaves here. No, this takes some patience, and then the artist has cleverly given us several different depth markers, because right past the few leaves up front, now we've got some deep shadows with a little bit of like negative space in between to sort of highlight that there's even more depth. It reads very clearly to me. I like that. And I love crime comics. I love really well done black and white art. And this uses some nice, subtle, grounded colors to emphasize things, but there's a tone to it. You know, they're cool colors if you look. Purple, blue, green, cool colors. Gives it a tone so that when there's a little bit of warmth, some of this red, it actually makes you a little more tense. That's really clever, because you can see that the characters are now in a little bit more danger. And so red helps highlight that, you know, fire, blood. That's what, like, anger. Reds represent that. But otherwise, you know, subdued colors of blues and purples. Great art. Great art. I love it. Yeah, Rabbit Who Fights. So this is issue 7 already. Double spread, so I'll show that to a degree. I was just thinking about Rabbit Who Fights during this stream. That's cool. This is Rissa. You get that vibe. I mean, yeah. Let's see, now that I have your P.O. box, I'll be sending you a nice package soon. Okay. Very cool art. I'm impressed. Yeah, very cool to get another issue of it. In my opinion, look, when I love a comic, of course I want to read it as often as I can. You know, keep up to speed, keep like the energy. But I'll say this too. I would generally rather wait for the creator to put it out on their terms and in their intended package, rather than, say, deal with a fill-in artist or anything, or have it come out too fast and it was like rushed or your ideas aren't properly down. If I have to choose between those two options, hopefully there's a balance and things can come up on any sort of a regular schedule. But I'd rather wait. When it's quality, it's always worth it. It really is. And then, you know, at some point, there's other people down the road that are going to get the benefit of the word of mouth reaching them, and they can read like a bunch all at once. More power to them. Good for them. Thank you for sending me that. That is really, really cool. Thank you, Tim. Very nice. All right. I said I was going to go faster, and then I kind of slowed down. Where's this from? This is from Germany. Wow, Germany. I don't know if I've gotten anything from Germany before. I think plenty from the UK, Australia, I think New Zealand, the Philippines, and Singapore. I'm pretty sure Italy. I'm just sort of like going off my pretty bad memory. But I don't think I've ever received anything in the P.O. box from Germany. I'd love to visit Germany. High on my list of places I would love to go if I had the funds to afford it. All right. Ha! This is wild. Oh, folks, take a look at this stuff. That is so punk. Gorehaus. Gore follows disjunction. Not form follows function. And that's by Thomas Sluzalek. I'm probably butchering your name a little, Thomas. Let me see. There is a letter. Love those. I'm Thomas Sluzalek from Germany. I watch your channels. Like Trash Movie Bonanza. Jim Mafood, he's a big fan of. Great artist. Yep, he is a cool dude. I send you my newest self-published crowdfunded comic book, Gorehaus. I thought it said Corey when I glanced at it. This makes a lot more sense. Gorehaus. That feels dumb, but I am a little out of it. It's issue 1 of 4. Thomas says, I hope you enjoy it. I know you're a horror fan. That's definitely true. I really am. So you probably won't hate it. I know. I will have another Kickstarter campaign for number 2 soon. The pre-launch page should be up by now. For more information, check out my Instagram at Thomas_Sluzalek. Or order the book directly on comicdojoshop.bigcartel.com. I'm excited to take a look at this. Oh, cool. Oh, so this is a print at the top. That's really nice. I like that idea. And then this is the comic. There's also a bookmark in there, but that's a cool print. Thank you. Gorehaus, number 1. Issue 2 should be on Kickstarter now, he said. Oh, great. Fake ads. I don't get tired of those. I want my love back. Look at how crazy this killer is. Super muscular, hockey mask-esque visage, Freddy Krueger glove, chainsaw arm, and he's fighting some sort of goop monster with a million faces. What an intro. Oh, this is insane. This is like Japanese splatterpunk almost. What in the world? Okay, there's bug horror, there's animal horror, there's body horror. Oh, dude. Yep, this is up my alley. Thank you so much for sending this. Also available from Thomas Sluzalek, Shaolin Grandmaster Killer number 1, number 2, Weapon Master number 1. Available at comicdojoshop.bigcartel.com. Nice. Thank you so much for thinking of me when you made this, for sending me a copy. I mean, that means a lot. That's so funny, all the references to the different horror stuff. I'm down. Gorehaus. Yes. Ha, sure. The 90s video game Splatterhouse, right on. A delayed game is eventually good. A bad game is bad forever. Oh, thinking back to what I was just talking about. Yeah. Let's see. You helped me get into comics after the kayfabe tragedy. Oh, well, I'm glad that you're into comics. And, yeah, at least we have lots of great episodes of cartoonist kayfabe to still enjoy. Dude, I'm getting some great stuff today. This is all up my alley. What's next? Pflugerville, Texas. Okay. I don't think I know where Pflugerville is. I feel like I've heard that town before, and I'm thinking of it. Texas is such a big state, and I'm generally pretty good with geography, but if I don't know it, I just don't know it. And I don't think I know off the top of my head Pflugerville. I'd have to look on a map to see if that's central, north, south. I just don't know. Oh, this is a trickier one to open, Deborah. Vanessa, some of the packages that have come in are a bit difficult to open. There's a letter. Come on, get out. All right. Got to still open this. Got to keep going. This is from Tijerina. Tijerina. Got it. It was great chatting with you about my comic during Promote Your Comic Live. Here's a copy of... Oh, Liber Timoris. Sorry, sometimes it just takes me a moment with handwriting. Yes, Liber Timoris. We did talk about this on one of my live episodes where I have guests. And yeah, Kev showed us this. You can get this on his website, artofkevtijerina.com. Modern Tales of Horror, Liber Timoris. Mature readers. We'll be careful. This is, January of 2025, talking about the inspiration behind this. Oh, yeah, good. He's used some nice grays to give this some mood. Good. Ha ha ha. Yup, it's got some horror stuff, like reminiscent of, nightmares and things from Nightmare on Elm Street to Ghostbusters, stuff like that. I love it. Always down for a black and white horror, and I'm willing to. I'll meet the artist more than halfway if I really love the story. Likewise, if I really love the art, I'll meet them halfway if the story's only like average. I'm just saying that in general about indie comics. And this one strikes me as having cool premise, pacing, tone. Yeah, all sorts of different horror stuff. Oh, dope, 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 dope. Thank you so much, Kev. You're the best. You're so nice. Thank you for the physical copy. That's not something you have to do. We've already promoted your book on one of the episodes. You didn't have to send me a copy. It's very kind of you. I appreciate it. Next, we've got something from LA, Los Angeles, California. We've got, I've seen this on the shelves. We've got Free Planet, an exclusive ash can, a numbered ash can. So who'd this come from? Aubrey Sitterson, the writer. I've read some of Aubrey's G.I. Joe comics in the past. Thanks so much for being willing to check out Free Planet. Of course I am. I'm very excited to find out how it hits you. Also, I'd love to chat with you about it sometime. Just let me know. Thank you, Aubrey. Very kind of you to send this. And I know that this basically just hit store shelves. So I'm going to open this ash can. And if this one strikes you, this is probably one of the easier books to find because it should be at your local comic shop. So, you streaming? I certainly am. I'm opening stuff from the P.O. box today. Let's see. Free Planet. So who else worked on this aside from Aubrey? Jed Dougherty's artist. Hey, Jack. That's my cat if you hear some meowing in the background. He's just a very feisty, energetic guy. He likes to talk. So sometimes I'm not reacting, but that's because I know he's okay. Well, it's definitely sci-fi. It definitely seems like there's a bit of a satirical element too, but that's just a quick guess. I like the art style. You know what it reminds me a tiny bit of, like Doug Monkey, who's an artist I really admire. A little bit, just a bit. Nice colors. The Freedom Guard. The Orbital Liberation and Defense Battalion's inaugural roster reflected this eclectic nature of the Revolutionary Coalition itself. Okay, so this is definitely some sort of a buddy comic or a team comic with a lot of varying personalities and types. That's cool. Dude, what's it about, though? Free Planet. Oh, we've got rebels and an Imperial force. What it's going to do, there's going to be like a twist or something to it. What is it? Is it just the character-based stuff, or is there like something more that trying to figure it out without giving everything away? But I like the art, and I liked some of what I know, I should say, about Aubrey's work. I haven't read everything, but I've read a little of the G.I. Joe, and I'm a critic of G.I. Joe because I love G.I. Joe, and Aubrey did some good stuff on that. This looks good. I don't know if there's more to it without like having time to read it. This is obviously a story with a lot of world building and a bunch of different characters. So it's not something I can quickly grasp. I'll just say, yeah, sci-fi definitely has some weirdo characters. So I think that there's like a bit of a humor element to it if I had to guess. Rock solid art. Yep. Very nice and clean. Very creative. I can't wait to read it. I'll let you know what I think, Aubrey. Thanks for thinking of me for sending this in. That's nice. All right. We've got some battery life on the camera. Do we have enough for this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's gonna have to work. I'm gonna be able to time it out. Cordis says, this is fun. I wanted to do some fan art of you for Comic Tropes. Any requests? Maybe just me scared by a pile of comics that I have that's about to tip over and crush me. Do whatever you want for fun. I'm a firm believer that the best art comes when people are motivated because it's like, their idea or whatever. All right, we've got something from WCG Comics in Los Angeles. So 2 in a row from Los Angeles. What do we got here? We have Rob Haynes' Adventures from WCG Comics. And a few extra little goodies, like promo cards and bookmarks and stuff. I'll just take a quick look at the letter here. And then we'll see what this is. Put the little things to the side. Fan, subscriber, thank you. Been meaning to send samples of my long-running series, Rob Haynes' Adventures, for a while. I've released averages up to at least one a year. Original series debuted in the 90s as a small press zine and a 4-issue comic book series run titled Adventure Strip Digest. Oh, this person, I'm just going to jump to the bottom. Randy Reynaldo received a Xeric grant and in 2018 was presented an Inkpot Award for contribution to comic art. Oh my goodness. Congratulations. It's amazing. Okay. This is like a Soldier of Fortune adventure type comic like you'd see in the 30s and 40s in comics. And he lists some of the influences. Milton Caniff's Terry and the Pirates. Can't go wrong there. Will Eisner's Spirit. Roy Crane's Buzz Sawyer. That's a good pull. Incredible, like artist comic. Roy Crane was, but not everybody will note him. Wow. Okay. Some other stuff that's been recognized. Thank you, Randy. I sent a selection of issues that are among my favorite and best reflect the breadth and variety of the series. Issues 1, 9 through 12, and 22 through 25. Okay. I gotta move at a good pace, but let's take a look at one of these. We'll take a look at the first issue to start. Ha! Yep, I'm already getting vibes. Not one that he listed, but that reminds me of like an Alex Toth layout, or a little Gil Kane even. Oh, good angles for the shots. Nice low angle in and close helps feel a little claustrophobic, and like you put yourself easily in the character's mind. Like I'm up to my neck in water. Great. Yep. Big panels for the most important stuff, like introducing new characters and some conflict between them. Great storytelling instincts here. I can already tell. Yeah, sometimes you can just tell. Ooh, good vehicles. Yep. Wow. Very efficient with the line art. I love the confidence with just a little bit of shading for where they're putting it on the characters. The way they do the fire and stuff reminds me a little bit of some of the stuff I'd see from Wally Wood or Milt Caniff. Modern day. So there's something going on there. Okay. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's just see if there was any massive changes art-wise if we jump to the future, aka the present. Rob Haynes, huh? Rob Haynes' Adventures. Oh yeah, you can tell that the artist has slightly leaned into their own stylistic comfort zone here, which still looks like quality, but like maybe even more confidence with spotting blacks. How about that? Yeah, there's some differences, but this is good. This is rock solid. Dude, I'm impressed. Randy, thank you so much. Randy Reynaldo, Rob Haynes' Adventures. Is there a website? WCG Comics, WCGcomics.com. Fantastic. Yep. There's definitely a huge library, I guess I'll call it, of comics of that nature. You know, the adventurer, the world traveler, the soldier for hire, soldier of fortune, and you don't see it a whole lot now. It was definitely like a big popular thing in Golden Age comics, and I miss it because it's like Indiana Jones and stuff like that. Oh, I talked to this person on one of my previous live streams with guests. Swack, The Funny Birds of Vulture Culture by Nick Burchard. And there's a note to me, I think. Yeah. Oh, and I even like a remark. Nick says, I've been watching your channel a while. Figured I would send you a copy of my new book. It's an omnibus of over 2 years of my webcomic, Vulture Culture. Vulture cover. Thanks for being a positive force. I wrote the other side before you did the interview for me. Okay. I liked what I saw here. So these are humor comics. All the characters are well, they're animals, but like the main ones are vultures, and I think that's kind of cool how these characters still look very very human, but they've got bird traits, and I think funny animals and animal inspiration for cartooning is baked into what comic books are. The very first comics were basically funny animals, in my opinion. Going back to Mickey Mouse, Crazy Cat, all sorts of characters like that. Very important part of comics in general. And I legit, when I would go through these things, I remember actually laughing. So I like that. Scary Organ. I'm writing a new book. Is this one about vampires again? Woo! Yeah, it's about vampires again. Sweet. Scary Pumpkin. You want to see something scary? Your mom. It's good. It's very good. I could be misremembering, but I feel like when we talked to Nick, he may have mentioned as an influence Matt Groening. I feel like I remember that, but I don't quote me on it without me going back and rewatching old episodes. Oh yeah, definitely. All this stuff looks fun, but thank you for the kind comment there. All right. 10 o'clock, and we've got 10% battery. But we've got 3 comics, so I think I've basically timed this out that I can give a few minutes to each without necessarily being rushed, and we should be good. And you know what? Absolute tragedy on the last one. If this camera dies, I'll just show it on this camera. So it'll be fine. I'm not going to rush. I want to take time to give my honest, real-time reactions to anything I'm seeing that's brand new, and give everybody time to find something to use, to potentially use to promote their book. Since that's the point of this, is let's give a signal boost to these things. All right, this is Our Adventure with Corporate Mascot. The biggest, most engaging video game comic book yet. And I get a letter. All right, let's see. Craig Holland? Is that, yes. Craig Holland. Okay, so thank you also for the little extra goodies. We've got a bookmark and a postcard. Always good to have those marketing materials. Dear Chris, I watched your videos for a number of years. With your recent Spotlight on Indie Comics streams, I wasn't able to attend. However, I wanted to share a copy of my recent comic. Great, that's what this is for. It's called Our Adventure with Corporate Mascot. It's a coming-of-age story about retro video games. The story begins in early '92. A young child receives their first console, the Exodus 24, with the pack entitled Corporate Mascot. Or they might mean Corporal Mascot, now that I look at that. maybe it means corporal mascot. Everything goes great for them. They bond over their adventures together until one day the next console comes out and it isn't compatible. The young child plays corporal mascot less and less. Corporal mascot gathers dust and wonders if he will be reunited with his player one. I am excited to take a look at this. Great premise. We've got a little bit of a Toy Story thing, but mixed with video games and done as a comic book. Oh, man. That's great. Adventures with the hero here. It must be corporal mascot. I'm sorry that I kept saying corporate. I just thought mascot was going to mean corporate, but I think now it means corporal. And now we get to the new video game system, and the game is getting ignored. It is funny sometimes how, we get to the next console and we kind of forget pretty fast the previous one. And then at a certain point, might be 10 years later, all of a sudden we're like, oh, what was a good game on that console? And you want to go back to it. Like, retro gaming is so... Literally today, I was just browsing in a game store and I was going like, would it be fun to buy like a Game Boy again, or buy a, I don't know. They had Wii's and Xbox 360s and stuff. And I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have sold my old ones, but you never know. This is great. Nice, clear line work, like clear storytelling is what I mean. Open line work, but definitely has personality. Nice, good colors that aren't covering up the artwork. They're just adding to the tone and enhancing it. So good job there. Lettering is easy enough to read. There's a lot to like here. Something tells me this is, I really hope, a positive, happy ending. But good idea. Good idea for a story. Thick, too. Look at the size of this. This is a good sized story. Plug it in. Careful with scissors. I'll try. Xbox 360 era had the best games. You know what? Like, I look back at and feel like had the strongest library for what it was is the Sega Dreamcast. Boy, did that have some creative games on it. Thank you very much, Craig Holland. And did he have a website here? Just double checking. Craig Holland. Is there a place I can easily direct you? Follow along on social media, corp.mass with 2 S's dash Scott with 2 T's. Okay. Each of them has a website like CraigHollandIllustration.com. So CraigHollandIllustration.com would probably be a good place to go if you want to know more about this. Here's something from Colorado Springs, Colorado. Awesome. We've got this and one more. I can do this. This is going to be a good use of our time. I am excited to see what else there is. And then I will try, now that I've sort of cleared out the P.O. box for a while, I'll let it gather back up so that there's more than 1 or 2 things in there. And I'll try at some point in the near future to have another episode of this where it's more just having people on that have a crowdfunded campaign or an indie book or something like that, something like a comic to promote. All right, we've got some art here. Is this original art? Or is it a print? It looks like original art. And I've got a letter. Here's a comic that a friend and I did after being grade school buddies and drifting apart. I grew up to be a fine artist and a novelist, so it seemed like a fun way to reconnect. Oh, and he a novelist. Excuse me. It's silly and definitely not safe for work, but it's just making each other laugh. I also included a drawing I did. This is from a couple years back. I did one every day to post onto my social media. I have thousands, so I figured you might dig one. I do. It's very creative. I love it. I love the hatching, too, on these on this suit. Fantastic hatching. Just, I'm jealous. And a surprise bag. All right, what do we got in this surprise bag? Stickers and buttons and stuff, maybe? Yeah. Wait, what the heck? Oh, it's like a rubber squishy chicken. It's thin, but it's a squishy rubber chicken. I like. Yes, please. I don't know what all these things are. Buttons and stickers. A fortune. I eat ass. That's okay with me. This is a great letter. Thank you. Worm food. Hey, nice sketch inside. Issue 1. I should look at this to make sure it's, yeah, I can show this. Oh, and again, inside. Yeah, this is some lovely hatching to indicate different textures, but I really like what you do on cloth. And then rotting hand there too. Nice. I'll just open to another random page. Yeah, it's violent. This isn't that bad. You had me scared that I was going to come across maybe there's some stuff that's a little depraved, but that's okay. So there's stuff that's it's a mix of horror and humor. Totally up my alley. That's so lovely. Thank you. Which person sent this to me? Must be James, because he just signed it Jazz. At least that's how I'm reading his signature. Dude, that's fun. Thank you so much. What do you think of my new eye surgery, everybody? This is just what I look like now. Seemed like a good idea at the time. But maybe I'm just stalling because we're down to one more. Georgia. Another Georgia. Yeah, Head Shop Comics. Mini Rubber Chicken. Love it. Big fan. Gonna show that to Chrissy in a moment. My wife is a big fan of rubber chickens. She finds them very amusing. Oh, Jason has sent me something before. Yes. Koji and Maru. There's a new issue. Nice letter on the back here from Jason. Jason, and I don't remember whether it was pronounced Cochise or something slightly different, but Jason has written a great all-ages book about Koji and Maru, his friendly panda. This person says, if I ever make it to Columbus, Ohio to check out the Billy Ireland Cartoon Museum, trust me, I know I would. Very big fan of what director Caitlin McGurk does with that. Huge cartooning museum, folks. Yes, this is beautiful. Last time I looked at issue 1, not inspired art, but not in any way too derivative or anything, because it's still got big personality and good cartooning for expressive characters. Good cartooning, easy to follow in the best way possible. That's awesome. Just running through a bazaar. Spice. Oh yeah, this does look like spice. I was just reading the Japanese. This is the end of the comic. You're reading it in the wrong direction. So it's just letting you know, which is kind of a funny joke when you think about it. It's letting you know to read it the traditional American way of left to right, because most manga that you open on this page, it says, you're reading it backwards. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Oh, what do we have for a website or something there? Yeah, jasoncochise.com. Rated A for all ages. I'm pretty sure that this one's also available, if I'm remembering right, on Amazon. It might be a print-on-demand thing. Wow, I really timed that well. I've barely got any battery in my second camera. So tell you what, I'm going to just jump over here and do wrap-up thoughts. First of all, thank you to everyone that sent in a comic. I appreciate it. That's just... I'm in a privileged position to get to receive a bunch of free, cool comics. They all excite me in different ways. And that's probably why I have a channel about comics. I love the storytelling medium. Whenever I can, I look at I look for the positives, and I give people a lot more room, like when it's small and indie compared to big mainstream, and has more sort of editorial oversight and things like that. I think that's one of the toughest things making indie comics is getting feedback. I know that like not everybody that had a comic tonight can like afford to hire, say, an editor, but no matter what, I hope you are able to get a second opinion from somebody that you trust to be honest with you and you're not going to get offended by, because that is the way to produce the best comics, is to take criticism that sometimes doesn't tell you everything is great. And sometimes that's hard to hear because we put so much of ourselves into our art. I'm not even somebody that has tons of comics out there, but I still draw. I've done a little bit of like, actually a decent amount of small press stuff and a little bit of mainstream stuff that I've dabbled in. And you put a lot of yourself into the art. It's not just the time. It's that you are putting something very personal into what you write or draw. You can't help but not give something of yourself to that artwork. And so it becomes something you can be very sensitive to. I feel like some of the most successful people in comics are the people that can take that criticism, not be offended, and actually digest it and go, is this something that I can learn from? Maybe they're wrong, but maybe they're not, even if they're being like harsh. I also think people that are successful, that have created these books, these are all people that, they never took a no. They were going to put it out, whether it was like, originally in web comic format, self-published. Some of these in here were web comics, right? No, I said web comics, but we've also got like some stuff that's been pitched to a publisher. We've got stuff that's, small press imprints. I'm sure a few of these were crowd-funded campaigns. Some of these were things that were a project to get to collaborate and focus on that aspect. Sometimes people are like, I want to put something out for a very specific audience. There's so many different reasons to make comics. There's so many different formats that you can adapt to. I love the versatility, and that's the most fun for doing these indie showcases, is seeing the wide variety. Like if I pick up all these comics right now, and I can't pick them all up, but look at how different, the size and the formats are for all of these, like none of this is the same, and I don't care. It all goes on a shelf just fine. There's a lot here that I'm excited by. This is such a tall pile of comics. This is definitely like the biggest one I've ever received over the last couple months. So very generous of people. I'm trying my best to stay on top of it. But look, is that, yeah, minus a couple of the little goodies that people included with this. This is the stack of comics that we just went through together. That is incredible. Plus, actually, this one that I wanted my wife to take a look at. So, wow. Thank you. Thank you to the people that are watching, both live and once this goes up and is archived. I hope that you've at least discovered a new comic that you're interested in, a new artist or writer you're interested in following, or maybe this even sort of pushes you to move forward with your story somehow. It's doable. All these people have done it in a wide variety of ways, but they didn't take no for an answer. They went ahead and did it. And I give everybody here credit for taking all that time and effort to get a comic out, no matter how you did it, as well as, putting something creative of yourself out there. I think that that's a good thing. We're going to find shared humanity touchstones and connect over our shared art. So you have showed up at the end, and I'm just really impressed with all of these. I will try to now make an edit of this video that has some chapters and, where possible, some links. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I will try to announce in advance if I do one of these that allows for guests to promote their things. So I will give people a heads up. I just don't know when I will have time to do something like that, because those generally go for quite a long time. But anyway, you've all been fantastic. I'll just tell you, keep reading comics. Bye. Have a good time.